Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. Shout out to all my subscribers. Special shout out to all my members. Thanks for being a part of the foodie community. You're getting early access to some content, exclusive content, special shout outs, and member shorts. Check out the link in the description box to join. All right, you guys, let's get back into this state's response to defendant's supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence, authored by Will Wooten. So I'm going victim by victim, dissecting the document, and I think I'm gonna save Gail Bickham for last because he got the most from her that we know of. But I was kind of hesitant on Melody Scretchen, because it hits close to home. It's always hit close to home for me because she's a teacher. Was a teacher, is a teacher. I'm not sure what she's doing right now. But the fact that as a former educator, which who knows if or when I'll have to go back, as hard and as stressful as it is to show up to a classroom and teach every day for a paycheck, which some people may think isn't much, depends on where you work. But in Houston, it was a good paycheck. But to think somebody would come after I get paid and try to take what I've worked for, dealing with kids day in and out, day in and day out, dealing with parents day in and day out, dealing with administrators day in and day out, dealing with your family life and having to leave that at home and put your all into a classroom, for some ninja to come into your life with the goal to take what you're working for, it hits close to home. So I'll try to get through this without being, I'll try to keep it light. I will try to keep it light. So on the criminal indictment, which we may all be familiar with at this point, let's find the counts pertaining to Melody. And let's not forget, even though I don't know where to pull that from, wasn't Lamont calling Melody, representing an attorney, asking for the police report number, or saying that he represented, I guess, trying to scare her and deter her from pursuing getting her stuff back? Oh, Lamont. Oh, Earl Lamont Dunbar. I'm scrolling because he got so many acts. All right, here we go. Act 40. On or about December 1st, 2021, Ernest Williams committed the felony offense of financial transaction card fraud in violation of OCGA 16-9-33 in Bartow County, Georgia, by with intent to defraud Precinct 1 Auto Sales Incorporated and Melody Scretchen, obtaining goods and services of a value of $2,000 by giving oral and in writing a MasterCard financial transaction card account number ending in 8161 to Precinct 1 Auto Sales Incorporated, the provider of the goods and services for billing purposes without the authorization and permission of Melody Scretchen, the cardholder for such use. This was an act of racketeering activity pursuant to OCGA 16-14-3 5A XVI. Act 41. A17. Act 41. On or about December 1st, 2021, Ernest Williams committed the felony offense of identity fraud in violation of OCGA 16-9-121 in Fulton County, Georgia, by willfully and fraudulently, without authorization and consent, using a MasterCard credit card number ending in 8161 belonging to Melody Scretchen, identifying information concerning a person for an authorized purchase in the amount of $2,000 at Precinct 1 Auto Sales Incorporated. This was an act of racketeering activity pursuant to OCGA. Hey, what was he getting work done on? Or was he getting parts for another vehicle with her credit card? Do we know that? Act 42, on or about December 1st, 2021, Ernest Williams committed the felony offense of financial transaction card fraud in violation of OCGA 16-9-33 in Gwinnett County, Georgia, by with intent to defraud Large Trucks Incorporated and Melanie Scretchen obtaining goods and services with a value of $1,071.12 by giving orally and in writing a Visa financial transaction card account number ending in 9747 to Laura's Trucks Incorporated, the provider of the goods and services for billing purposes without the authorization and permission of Melody Scretchen, the card holder for such use. This was an act of racketeering activity pursuant to OCGA, blah, blah, blah. And Act 43, on or about December 1st, 2021, Ernest Williams committed the felony offense of identity fraud in violation of OCGA. Y'all know, y'all see it, in Fulton County, Georgia, by willfully and fraudulently, without authorization and consent, using a Visa credit card number ending in 9747, belonging to Melody Scretchen, identifying information concerning a person for an unauthorized purchase in the amount of $1,071.12 at Large Trucks. This was an act of racketeering activity pursuant to OCGA, blah, blah. So he got two different cases or charges for that: financial transaction fraud and identity fraud. So did he pretend to be Melody, or did he use the 19-year-old to say she was Melody? I don't know. And then on or about Act 44, on or about December 2nd, 2021, Ernest Williams committed the felony offense of financial transaction card fraud in violation of OCGA 16-9-33 in Gwinnett County, Georgia, by with intent to defraud Large Trucks Incorporated and Melody Scretchen, obtaining goods and services of a value of $800 by giving orally and in writing a Visa financial transaction card account number ending in 9747 to Large Trucks Incorporated, the provider of the goods and services for billing purposes without the authorization and permission of Melody Scretchen, the card holder for such use. This was an act of racketeering activity pursuant to OCGA, blah, blah. There's more, y'all. There's more. There's Act 45, which was the identity fraud, using her Visa card, $800 to Large Trucks. Act 46, financial transaction card fraud to Large Trucks, $4,000. And Act 47, identity fraud, using her MasterCard, $4,000 at Large Trucks. Act 48, financial transaction card fraud, Large Trucks, $1,000, using Melody's Visa. Act 49, identity fraud, using Melody's card to Large Trucks, $4,000. Act 50, theft by taking for the Nissan Altima, property of Melody Scretchen, the value which at least was $5,000, but less than $25,000, with the intention of depriving said owner of said property. And then we get into the next victim. So that's 10 acts under this RICO for using Melody's card and using Melody's cards and stealing her car. Wow. Victim, Melody Scretchen. We know some of the documents or some of the evidence was found in the F-350 as it pertains to Melody Scretchen. Let's see what Will Wooten says in this document. The defendant appears to assert that certain evidence and testimony related to victim Melody Scretchen should be suppressed if the court determines that the Ford F-350 was unlawfully seized. Defendant's supplemental brief at 2. The defendant does not identify what specific evidence or testimony should be suppressed, but instead merely points out that a piece of paper with Melody Scretchen's credit card number was located inside the Ford F-350 and briefly summarizes a telephone interview with Ms. Scretchen conducted by police on August 15, 2022, more than a month after the search of the Ford F-350. It is unclear to the state whether the defendant's position is that only the single piece of paper should be suppressed, all evidence and testimony related to Ms. Scretchen should be suppressed, or something in between. Out of an abundance of caution, out of an abundance of caution, and to provide relevant factual background to the court, the state will assume that the defendant challenges all evidence and testimony related to Ms. Scretchen. But for the reasons set forth below, the state submits that only the single piece of paper is subject to suppression if the court determines the Ford F-350 was illegally seized. So basically, even if we throw everything out, here's what we got. Got to love Will Wooten. Got to love him. Ms. Scretchen purchased a 2018 Nissan Altima on December 18, 2018, with her hard-earned teacher money. See Exhibit B, vehicle title, tag information. As the defendant acknowledges, Ms. Scretchen reported her car stolen by the defendant on June 4th, 2022 with the South Fulton Police Department, well in advance of the seizure of the Ford F-350. Defendant's supplemental brief at 2. See also Exhibit C, SFPD report number. Ms. Scretchen told police that she was looking to sell her 2018 Nissan Altima and that the defendant offered to sell it for her because he knew someone that would buy her vehicle for more than what the dealerships were offering. Guys, never, ever do that. I know all y'all ladies are smart. I know we're all smart, but why wouldn't you just take your car to the dealership and or go to CarMax? CarMax will give you more than dealerships, regular dealerships would. But okay. All right. SFPD report number at 3. In January 22, Ms. Scretchen permitted the defendant to take her vehicle to be sold. Several months passed, during which time Ms. Scretchen repeatedly asked the defendant for her vehicle back or the money he sold it for. The defendant gave Ms. Scretchen the runaround before she finally realized he was not going to return the vehicle, prompting her to file a police report. As a result of that report, an arrest warrant was issued for the defendant on June 5th, 2022. See Exhibit D, arrest warrant number, blah, blah, blah. The defendant was arrested on that warrant by Detective Natalie Fields on July 7th, 2022. The same day, the Ford F-350 was seized. See Exhibit E, Fulton County Jail booking report. It is unquestionable that an investigation into the crimes committed against Ms. Scretchen by the defendant was being actively pursued prior to the seizure of the Ford F-350. So there you go, Nesto. There you go, Sean Hoover. There y'all go. There you go, Sonya. There you go, Dion. Subsequent events and investigation revealed that the defendant had given the 2018 Nissan Altima he stole from Ms. Scretchen's to another of his victims, LT. I'll say LT, and I'll try to block it out, but if not, this name is all over the place. This is the 19-year-old victim who was unaware that the vehicle was stolen. See Exhibit F, Conyers Police Department, report number, blah, blah, blah. On June 6, 2022, just 2 days after Ms. Scretchen reported her vehicle stolen to the South Fulton Police Department, Ms. T, her grandmother, Tracy Simmons, who was also unaware that the vehicle was stolen, was arrested for driving the stolen vehicle in Conyers, Georgia. Ms. Simmons was removed from the vehicle at GUN point, and was made to lie face down on the ground during her arrest. Ms. Simmons stated to police that she first saw her granddaughter with the vehicle in January of 2022. Is that when Melody gave him the vehicle and he just gave it right over to the young girl? Consistent with statements made by Ms. Scretchen to South Fulton Police Department officers, ID SFPD report number at 3. Conyers Police Department officers immediately contacted Ms. Scretchen to notify her that her vehicle stolen by the defendant had been located. All of this occurred well before the seizure of the Ford F-350. The defendant also acknowledges that Ms. Gretchen filed a report regarding the use of her credit card for items not authorized with the South Fulton Police Department. Defendant supplemental brief at 2. See also Exhibit G, SFPD report number blank. In that report, made August 13th, 2022, Ms. Gretchen stated she had previously reported that the defendant stole her 2018 Nissan Altima and that she needed to follow up to report that he had also used her credit cards without authorization. SFPD report number blank at 3. The defendant told Ms. Gretchen that he had a hookup at BrandsMart USA to help her buy items for her home. So she provided her credit card information to him. Instead of using Ms. Gretchen's credit card information to purchase items for her at BrandsMart USA, the defendant used Ms. Gretchen's Family First Credit Union card, SunTrust card, and Carnival World MasterCard card to purchase items for himself without Ms. Gretchen's authorization. ID in October 2023. ID, period. In October 2023, once the defendant's cases had been received by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, Ms. Gretchen provided a written statement to the state confirming all of the above details and provided copies of credit card statements documenting the unauthorized transactions. See Exhibit H, Gretchen's statement and financial documents. As set forth above, nothing related to Ms. Gretchen beyond the single piece of paper with Melody Gretchen's credit card number located in the Ford F-350 is subject to suppression. All other evidence related to Ms. Gretchen either was known or reported prior to the seizure of the Ford F-350 would have inevitably was discovered from a source independent of the Ford F-350 or is sufficiently attenuated such that any taint is cured. But according to Sonya, since they were screwing and she gave him a credit card or, maybe previously authorized something, it's a civil matter. It's not criminal. He shouldn't be sitting in jail. Or a business deals go wrong. If it was multiple people, it would be more serious. But hey, this is just a civil matter, And then what really pissed me off is Nesto trying to prove his innocence by stating, what do I look like even dealing with a teacher on a romantic level? What do I look like doing that? But according to you, you were dealing with a radio co-host who didn't have nothing going on and was in deep financial doo-doo when you met her. So what you look like dealing with her? What you look like dealing with Shirley? Nesto is a piece of crap. He's where he belongs. And if he gets out anytime soon, I might have to take my air to Atlanta, my goddamn self, and protest and start a petition. Because this right here is sick, disgusting. Sonya needs to be sitting up in that with him. I can't even talk straight. So let's just get to the exhibits. Somebody that's so good and too good to be messing with a teacher is sitting up in jail with no bail, no bond, one visitor, $20 on his books. And for that one comment I may get that says they hear stuff in the background, I don't have an at-home studio. You may hear cars. Okay, that's all you may hear. And I will try to take that out of there if it's too much. So this is the vehicle title and tag information for Melody Gretchen. Y'all can take a look at that. But this is for the silver Nissan Altima that she gave Nesto because Nesto told her she could get more back for her car if he took it somewhere. Because he's the god of all vehicles. all vehicle sales. He's the god of all vehicle sales and transactions, and he has magic superpowers that will make somebody give him twice as much back as anyone else would. Not victim blaming, but why in the holy heck would you believe anything this ninja says? Where are the credentials? What's in your bank account? All right, Exhibit C. This is the incident investigation report. South Fulton Police Department, theft by deception. This is just, general information. The date reported was June 4th, 2022. She last had her vehicle around January 1st, 2022. On the listed date and time, CPL Fullerton was dispatched to blank in reference to larceny. Let's read that report. On the listed date and time, CPL Fullerton was dispatched to blank in reference to larceny. Upon arrival, I made contact with the victim, Melody Scretchen. Ms. Scretchen advised she was looking to sell her vehicle, and her friend, Ernest Williams, stated he could sell it for her. Ms. Scretchen stated in January of this year she allowed Mr. Williams to take her vehicle to be sold after she checked with several dealerships. Mr. Williams stated to Ms. Scretchen that he knew someone that would buy her vehicle for more than what the dealerships were offering her. Ms. Scretchen stated it's been since January that she has been asking Mr. Williams for her vehicle back or the money he sold it for. Ms. Scretchen stated since January up until this date, Mr. Williams has been giving her the runaround about her vehicle. In return, Mr. Williams gave Ms. Scretchen his black undercover 2016 Dodge Charger bearing GA tag blank registered to Nesto's Elite Private Security, LLC, to drive until he sold her vehicle. Mr. Williams has multiple active warrants in reference to theft. The warrants are as follows. So these were warrants as of June 4th, 2022, guys. Fraud out of Los Angeles, California, date of warrant 9/13/2018. Warrant number, case numbers there. Larceny out of Henry County, Georgia, date of warrant 2/19/2019. Warrant number, Henry County, case numbers there. That's the warrant that he kept trying to get the attorneys that Shirley hired to get off his record. So when he got out on bond, he wouldn't have to go right back in because of the Henry County warrant. And because he knew that the California warrants weren't going to be pursued. Third warrant, fraud out of Orange County, California. Date of warrant, March 3rd, 2020. Warrant number, Orange County case numbers there. Theft by deception out of Roswell, Georgia. Date of warrant, 5/10/21. Warrant number there, case number is there. So I remember when he got arrested and he said, I don't know nobody. And I really want to go over that body cam. Let me write that down so I don't forget. I really still want to go over that body cam. When he was talking like Michael Jackson saying, I don't know nobody in Roswell, Georgia. Something like that. Ms. Scretchen's vehicle is a silver 2018 Nissan Altima bearing GA tag blank. An additional warrant was obtained for Mr. Williams. Fulton County operator 1300. A case number was issued. Incident report, suspect list, Ernest L. Williams. They blocked out the home address. Keep going. They have the vehicle information there. Exhibit D. Let's look at this. What is this? I don't think there's anything marked on here besides the third column, Court of Fulton County, the state versus Ernest L. Williams. They have his date of birth marked out. Theft by deception. Prosecutor name and address, Devontae Fullerton, South Fulton Police Department. And they have Devontae's number and the case number. Criminal warrant, affidavit for arrest. So, in case we're not clear, Nesto was arrested because of this warrant, because Melody filed the police report. I know he had more than one warrant, but I'm just saying. Dion's unclear as to why he was arrested. Nesto doesn't know. Sonya they don't know. So this is why. Okay. On top of other things. But they feel if they throw out the evidence from the F-350, then he can just go free, y'all, like magic. Personally, affidavit for arrest. Personally came Devontae Fullerton, who on oath says that to the best of her knowledge and belief, Ernest L. Williams, hereinafter called the accused, between 6/4/22 at 5:40 p.m. Hold on a second. 6/4/22 at 5:40 p.m. and 6/4/22 at 6:20 p.m. at 7100 Suttles Drive, South Fulton in Fulton County, aforesaid, did commit the offense of theft by deception, felony 16-A-3, in that said accused did not obtain property 2018 Nissan Altima bearing GA tag blank belonging to Miss Gretchen by deceitful means. I hope I said did obtain. Okay, yes, by deceitful means. Mr. Williams stated to Miss Gretchen Melody since January that he knew someone that would buy her car for more than what dealerships, and this is just repeating the information, but with the intention of depriving the lawful owner of said property being worth $1,500.01 or greater, to wit at least $5,000 but less than $24,999.99, at least $1,501 but less than $5,000, with the intent to deprive said owner of said property. Mr. Williams has yet to return her vehicle or give money for the vehicle, said, and this deponent makes this affidavit that a warrant may issue for his, and I'm reading exactly how it is, y'all, may issue for her arrest. He took a whole car. And apparently she didn't have a backup because he gave her one to drive. So he took a whole car from her, y'all. A whole freaking car. And he was giving it to the 19-year-old victim because he had gotten money, so say, from her dad to help her career, but he wasn't coming off of nothing. He wasn't showing no results or no product for that deal either. All right, back to the affidavit. Probable cause. Miss Gretchen advised she was looking to sell her vehicle, and her friend Williams, Ernest, stated he could sell it for her. Miss Gretchen stated in January of this year she allowed Mr. Williams to take her vehicle to be sold after she checked with several car dealerships. Mr. Williams stated that Miss Gretchen that he knew someone that would buy her vehicle for more than what the dealerships were offering. Miss Gretchen stated it's been since January that she has been asking Mr. Williams for her vehicle back or the money he sold it for. Miss Gretchen stated since January up until this date, Mr. Williams has been giving her the runaround about her vehicle. And this is repeating the information. So I don't know. I don't think I'll cut it out, but y'all can just skip a little ahead, but I'm reading the exhibits. It's repeating the information, okay? In return, Mr. Williams gave Miss Gretchen his black undercover 2016 Dodge Charger bearing GA tag blank registered to Nesto's Elite Private Security, LLC, to drive until he sold her vehicle. Mr. Williams has multiple active warrants in reference to the theft. The warrants are as follows, and I'm not going to read the warrants again. State warrant for arrest. To any sheriff, deputy sheriff, coroner, constable, police officer, law enforcement officer, or marshal of said state greeting for sufficient causes made known to the deputy clerk of this court as authorized by Acts 1922, page 207. You are therefore commanded to arrest the body of the said accused name in the foregoing affidavit, charged with the offense of theft by deception, felony 16-A-3, and bring her before me or some other judicial officer of this state to be dealt with as the law directs. Herein fail not. Exhibit E. Ooh, booking report with all the aliases that I'm gonna read. Date booked. Date booked. 7/7/2022. Ooh, what a day. Outsourced to Cobb County. They outsourced your air. Nil. Bind over to Superior Court. 5:03 p.m. Page 104. And just so y'all know, Fulton County Jail is located at 901 Rice Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318. So here are Mr. Williams' aliases: Roderick J. Arnold, Roderick V. Arnold, Roger Arnold, Marcus Favors, Alx Pittman, John West, Victor Lamar West, Paul William from Temptations, Ernest Laveritt Williams Jr., Ernest L. Williams with no A in Ernest, Ernest L. Williams. Is that different? Looks like the same, unless it's Ernest L. Williams Jr. So it's Ernest Lavette Williams, and then Ernest L. Williams Jr., no A in the Ernest, and then Ernest L. Williams, no Jr. Here's my favorite, y'all. And he looked like one in this picture too. Dog Williams. Ernest L. Williams with an A in Ernest. Ernest with an A, Lavert Williams. Is that his birth name, y'all? Apparently not. Ernest with an A, Lorette Williams. Ernest L. Williams with no A, Jr. Ernest Lavert Williams, no A in Ernest. Ernest, no A, Williams. Ernest, y'all, this is crazy. Ernest Lavert Williams. Okay. Ernest Lavelt Williams Jr., Ernie Williams, and Lavette Williams. Race black, sex male, ethnicity non-Hispanic, age 58. Now he's 60. Height 5'10", weight 195, hair black, eyes brown. They only put one of his social security numbers on here, y'all. Scars, marks, tattoos, amputations. He has scar on arm, right arm, non-specific. Tattoo on I didn't know he had tattoos. Tattoo on chest, tattoo on arm, left, non-specific. Tattoo on arm, right, non-specific. I didn't know he had tattoos. Address 980 Pine Grove Road. Now, okay, that's his address, y'all. Emergency contact, Shirley Williams, wife. Arresting agency, Roswell Police Department. Arresting officer, 796. Arrest date, 7/7/22 at 1:18 p.m. Arrest location, 1007 Alpharetta Street. They didn't list the vehicle information. Here are the warrants. Wow. I'm going to scroll through the arrest warrants because there are so many, y'all. So I don't think I'm going to read them all. There's like 2 pages of warrants. 2.5. Yeah, about 2 pages of warrants, if y'all can see. Some of them have bond amounts, but this second line and third line says hold without bond, which is a theft by deception, and the Henry County situation. At the top of page 2 of this booking report, he has no bond set for theft of services felony and deposit account fraud bad check, $1,500 or more. He has 3 warrants that it says, I guess, bonding status set by judge, conspiracy to commit a felony, conspiracy to commit a felony. Tongue twister. Look, and not used to saying it. Conspiracy to commit a felony, set by judge at $25,000 each. 2 more, conspiracy to commit a felony, hold without bond. And then those were dismissed. He has 3 more warrants not set. Next 2, conspiracy to commit a felony, $10,000 bond each. And then he has the CP stuff where it says hold without bond. All that, and this ninja riding around with CP on his devices. Boy. This was nothing but God's intervention. This is nothing but God's intervention. All right, Exhibit F. And this is the report where Grandma Simmons was riding around in Melody's car after the 19-year-old alleged victim let Granny use it. Now, because supposedly the 19-year-old was out of town, but she wasn't, from what we gathered. But why did Nesto give her a vehicle if she was just going to give it to Granny? Everybody is on the foolery. Everybody is with the foolery. One thing I've learned, you don't just get in nobody else's vehicle and start driving. I mean, if you can help it, don't drive nobody else's stuff. Don't even get in nobody else's stuff if you can help it. You know, unless you really know and trust that person. This lady's riding around in a vehicle that her daughter just popped up out of the blue with. Okay, so let me look at the important part here. Okay, so stolen property offenses, theft by receiving stolen property, offense date 6/6/22. Suspect was Tracy Simmons. Other suspect is LT. And then they have, it says other LT, and then victim Melody. Automobile recovered, Nissan Altima. The arresting officer, I'm guessing, was Brian DeCoste. They have some kind of evidence. Documents located within the vehicle. Date received 6/6/22. Case was pending, and then case was closed. Cleared by arrest. Here's the narrative. On Monday, June 6, 2022, at approximately 8:57 hours, I responded to the area of Navy Federal to assist in locating a stolen vehicle that hit on a local tag reader. Conyers Communications advised they located the vehicle, a 2018 Nissan Altima bearing Georgia tag blank, on camera in the Navy Federal parking lot, and observed a female in the vehicle, Sergeant Cook, and I approached the vehicle and made contact with the female in the driver's seat. The female, later identified as Tracy Simmons, exited the vehicle and was detained in handcuffs with her hands to the rear of her person. Now, I say Granny, but nowadays Granny could have been 40 years old. Well, maybe not, maybe 50. Conyers Communications confirmed the vehicle was stolen out of Fulton County. The Sergeant Cook began searching the vehicle as I questioned Simmons. I first read Simmons her Miranda rights, and she understood and agreed to speak with us. I questioned her about the vehicle, and she stated that she got the vehicle from her granddaughter, LT. I questioned her about T, and she stated T was homeless and often stays with her when she isn't sleeping on a bus that her business partner has. I want to know word for word what Granny told these people. For some reason, I don't think it's word for word, but I think the word for word is more juicy. She's homeless. Often stays with Granny when she isn't sleeping on a bus that her business partner, quote unquote, business partner has. I asked her what she does for work, and she stated T has been unemployed since last year. So unemployed since 21. I asked Simmons when she first saw the vehicle, and she stated she first saw the vehicle in January, but she helped T pick it up 2 days prior from a parking garage. I asked Simmons about the educator tag on the vehicle, and she said that T is not a teacher, and she found this odd that she would have an educator tag on it. She asked T about it, and T said she got it from her business partner. T remarked that this don't seem right. T remarked that this don't seem right. Okay. Well, why were you driving it, and why did you give it to Granny? Sergeant Cook returned from searching the vehicle and informed me he located repair paperwork with the name LT on it. Additionally, there was a small dog in the vehicle. What's up with the repair paperwork, y'all? I missed something. Did he get work done in LT's name and not pay for the work? The date of theft of this vehicle was January 1st, 2022, and the date of entry was June 6, 2022. I called the registered owner and spoke with her on the phone. She advised that her car was indeed still stolen. Due to T not being homeless, employed, and having no legitimate means of purchasing a 2018 vehicle accompanied by the tag that Simmons herself said don't seem right, I concluded that Simmons either known or should have known the vehicle was stolen and placed Simmons under arrest for theft by receiving stolen property. The vehicle was recovered and held for the owner at Finish Line Towing. Simmons was transported to Rockdale County Jail by Officer Brooks. Sergeant Cook took the dog to animal control and turned it over to their custody. Wow. The dog had to take a hit. The paperwork with T's name on it was seized and entered into evidence. The vehicle was removed from GCIC NCIC. Oh boy. Oh, sorry, y'all. All right, Exhibit G. And I'm quite sure Grandma is wishing she did not get in that vehicle on that day. And refresh my memory, when was Nesto telling Sonya or somebody that LT, the 19-year-old, was lying to police, saying that she was in the Dominican Republic and she wasn't, because Sonya and Nesto had several conversations about this 19-year-old, because I'm guessing they were just trying to pin everything on her, or, oh, this 19-year-old is going to go and take Melody's vehicle and let Granny drive it. Granny's a schemer. Granny got problems. LT got issues. Everybody got issues but Nesto. But Nesto the one locked up. Nesto's the one that's locked up, but everybody else got mental problems and a criminal background. Oh, and her daddy's a gangster. So what? All right, Exhibit G. I don't know if I need to read through this. Oh, okay. I'll just point out that this was on 8/13/22. Last known secure 12/3/21. So this is her credit card stuff. If we look at the bottom here, he charged $6,000, or she gave him $6,000 in Zelle payments, I'm guessing. He charged $1,871.12 on her credit union card, $1,000 on the SunTrust, and $3,000 on the Carnival Play Visa. Officer L. Ken, Supervisor R. McCain. On 8/13/22, L. Ken responded via landline in reference to fraudulent transactions. So this is when Melody went back and filed because of her credit card stuff. Upon contact, I spoke to Melody Scretchen, who advised she made a report in January of 2022, and due to that incident, her male friend, Ernesto Williams, used 3 of Scretchen's credit cards. Family First Credit Union, $1,871.12. SunTrust Card 1,000, and Carnival Bar Play Card 3,000 to purchase items not authorized by Scretchen. So he's just gonna use up all her good credit, and good financials. Freaking bum. Scretchen advised Williams stated he had a hookup at Brands Mart USA for items needed to fix some things in her home, so Williams obtained the card information from Scretchen via phone. Scretchen advised the transaction showed up on her credit statement in early December of 2021, and when she went to cancel her cards, the banks advised Scretchen she needed a police report before issuing a new card. In addition, Scretchen advised she sent a total of $6,000, oh girl, via Zelle E. Williams for various business purposes, but none of the promises were ever fulfilled. A case number was pulled and provided via landline. Nothing further. Nesto know how to find some women with some cash, right? That's his gift. But it might not be a gift. He probably studied on it while he was incarcerated. What is it? The Art of Seduction? This is for the transactions, financial transactions. Exhibit H. I did not provide excuse me, y'all. To whom it may concern, I did not provide authorization for Ernest and Ernesto Williams to use the following credit cards at the specified companies listed below. SunTrust credit card, yeah, because the D ain't that good. The deal doors might be good, but the D ain't that good for me to just be giving you my card to do what you want to do with it. And the massages ain't good enough either. SunTrust credit card, you can go pay for a good massage for about where I'm from, you can get a good massage for $35, $40, maybe even $30. But she had to come up off of all this money for a massage from nasty Nesto. All right, SunTrust credit card ending in 4860 for $1,000 at Large Trucking. Family First Credit Union credit card ending in 9747 for $1,071.12 at Large Trucking. Family First Credit Union credit card ending in 9747 for $800 at Large Trucking. Barclay Carnival credit card ending in 8161 for $1,000 at Large Trucking. Barclay Carnival credit card ending in 8161 for $2,000 at Precinct 1 Auto Sale. Additionally, I provided Nesto with $6,000 for various services and products that were never delivered. These payments were intended to cover services such as growing my Instagram and social media accounts, setting up and managing a pop-up shop, handling the setup and removal of appliances. A portion of the payment was meant for a 2% ownership stake in his company, which was to serve as a means of paying off my credit card debt through a write-off. I'm going to read this again, y'all. The funds were also designated for the acquisition of a Chevrolet Tahoe and an associated insurance policy for the vehicle. All right, one more time. Additionally, I provided Nesto with $6,000 for various services and products that were never delivered. These payments were intended to cover services such as growing my Instagram and social media accounts, setting up and managing a pop-up shop, handling the setup and removal of appliances. A portion of the payment was meant for a 2% ownership stake in his company, the security company, which was to serve as a means of paying off my credit card debt through a write-off. The funds were also designated for the acquisition of a Chevrolet Tahoe and an associated insurance policy for the vehicle. Lastly, I aimed to reduce my debt-to-income ratio, and one of the strategies I had in mind was selling my car. Nesto offered to assist and proposed that I drive one of his work vehicles, a Dodge Charger, while I worked on selling my car. That would have been so uncomfortable for me, y'all. That would have been it for me. I can't drive somebody else's car. I get nervous. The plan was for me to use his vehicle until I could afford to buy a used one outright. But you letting him charge stuff? Okay. In January, I received a quote for my car from CarMax. However, when Nesto brought his car, he assured me that he had a potential buyer who was willing to purchase my car for a higher price than CarMax's offer. He explained that if the prospective buyer decided against purchasing my car, he would simply return it to me and I wouldn't be at a loss. With this understanding, I gave Nesto the keys to my car, believing he would sell it on my behalf. According to Nesto, my car was sold in February. So he told it was sold, but then Nesto, when you tell it's sold, you're going to have to produce something, Nesto. However, he never provided me with the cash from the sale. I allowed him ample time to return my vehicle or the money as I began requesting my car from March to June. It was only after receiving no response regarding my vehicle that I reported my car stolen. Here's the Carnival MasterCard statement. Everything auto related. This man is going to live and die by auto. SunTrust charge. Family First Credit Union charge. Charges. All right, I don't remember all the officers' names involved with this Melody situation, but we see Officer Fullerton is on there and Melody Scretchen is on there. Tracy Simmons, the grandma, is on there, who was arrested for driving Melody's vehicle. LT is on there. She gave Granny the vehicle. So I'll end with this. The last page of the 277-page document where Will Wooten provides all evidence outside of what was obtained in the quote-unquote illegal search of the Ford F-350 that was fraudulently obtained in Shirley's name. I don't know. It seems like a lose-lose situation for Ernesto, but State versus Ernest Williams, a.k.a. Ernest Lavelle Williams, a.k.a. Nesto. Certificate of service. I hereby certify that I have this day served a copy of this state's response to defendant's supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence upon all counsel who have entered appearances as counsel of record in this matter via the Fulton County e-filing system this third day of February 2025. So we're still waiting on the judge's determination, or waiting on the judge's say on whether they're going to throw out all of the evidence. And it just sounds like to me, I mean, I would love to know what the judge rules on this. But regardless of the ruling, I think Nesto is toast, and you're not going to be able to pay me enough to say all of this stuff Nesto has done to all of these people is going to be satisfied with a 3-year jail term. Because he'll have served almost 3 years by the time June rolls around, which is supposed to be the final plea date or trial. And let Ernesto tell it, it's not going to even be a trial. He told Dion, I don't think it's going to be all that. It ain't going to be all that. So what's going to happen then, Nesto? You're going to go free in June? You're not going up the road? In my day-to-day life and in my years of dating, having friends who date or who's been married, knowing women, specifically Black women, because that's really all I can speak for, Black women, and entering in or getting in relationships with men in hopes of starting a family, having a partnership, investing in a relationship, investing in a marriage. Just be single. Just be single. Just be single. Have your friends. It might not even be safe to have male romantic friends. It might not even be safe to say and do that at this point in 2025. What year are we in? Today is not the day, y'all. But I thought I'd rather talk about Melody than Gail, because that's a lot of money for an already established woman, Gail Bickham, to have given Nesto, basically thrown away to Nesto for him to F off on vehicles and whatever else. F off on his day-to-day life. I mean, he say he don't eat. All he drink is coffee. So what is he spending all this money on? And you're not going to pay me enough to say he's doing it or did it for Shirley. He's tried to put everything off on Shirley. But Nesto, you don't wake up early enough to make people think that and believe that. I'm not preaching to nobody. I can't tell y'all nothing. I'm just doing my commentary and hopefully y'all enjoy. I know we've all learned a lot over the last year and a half, or however long it's been, that there's plenty of Nestos out here. We know there are because he has a friend named Lamont. He has a son named Dion. So there's too many Nestos out here who think that women are here to be taken advantage of. Women are here because we have more than what they have. More education, more money, whatever they say nowadays, whatever gives them the right or reason to take and take and take. And, you got to live to learn lessons. But this hits close to home for me because I'm a teacher. And even though I've been smart enough to not fall into the trap and not be fooled enough to just give somebody my card and say, here, go do what you want to do with it. Or, hey, the D is so good, I'm going to trust you with my livelihood. I can say, be careful. It's safer just to be single. It's safer just to depend on friends. It's hard enough to find friends you can trust and rely on and loan $5 to, Just live life, live life. But anyway, I may even cut this stuff out. I don't know, y'all. But thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.